She runs. Hey guys, Jason with CV Custom. So, truck runs, pretty excited about that. Today we're gonna go over what it costs for me to get it back on the road, bulletproof it and all that stuff, and what it still needs. So, we'll go through everything we put into the engine, the upgrades we did, and the upgrades we still need to do, and then what the truck itself needs for me to, use it as my service truck from now on. So, yeah, thanks for watching. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to blow out the cab because I want to do that before I wash it. We'll take a look at the truck and we'll go over what it costs. Okay guys, I got her cleaned up. Honestly, she's for the most part straight. We've got a front bumper that we got to deal with. We're going to take a look at the truck real quick and then we're going to go over the numbers on everything it took to get this engine right. Wanted to show you this. I'm hoping you guys can see it. See all these dots? That is from it sitting on a dairy for a while. That's like fly poop. It'll come off, but you gotta like buff it off. So a few things. The truck is in pretty decent shape. Remember, I just blew it out, so kind of got the dirt out, but yeah, I still gotta shampoo the rug. I gotta get this fixed and just give it a good cleaning. It's actually in pretty solid shape. I have a new steering wheel coming. I accidentally ordered a gray leather. I thought it had a gray leather one, but this was a brown leather, or I'm sorry, black leather. So it's gonna have a gray leather steering wheel, so that'll be cool. But the rest of the truck's in good shape. And then there's a bad spot on the back over here. Toolbox is pretty solid, but the bumper, that's got to be worked. If you saw one of my other videos, I talked about that. That thing was pulled out or something. So we're going to redo that. Probably put a workbench on the back. And then, yeah, other than that, the truck's in good shape. Let's go talk numbers. Okay, guys, let's talk brass tacks. We're going to talk about the money. Now, if you've been following the videos on this truck, you know I bought this for this build. Wanted to take a shot at doing the bulletproofing on a 6.0 that's a truck of my own, right? So this is what I'm all in on it. I had to purchase the truck, $3,500, and then I purchased it knowing that it was going to need an engine. So then I had to get a wrecking yard motor for another $3,700. First thing I did when I got the engine was I pulled the heads because we were going to stud it. So I had the heads done, valves, seats, all that fun stuff. That cost me another $300. Now, on these Powerstrokes, I don't like to do machine work on the block because they get really thin walls and it can cause more problems. So what we did was check the motor and everything mic'd out. We flipped it upside down, checked the rods and the mains. Everything checked out. I mean, we could still see the hone marks from when the engine was assembled. Hone marks inside the cylinder walls. So we just did the heads and then we put our studs on. Now for our bulletproof kit, I went through this DK bulletproof thing. I'd never tried it, so we were testing it out, and man, everything was there. The only thing that I didn't like about it is it comes with all these parts for the bulletproofing. Where to start? Okay, studs, the tubes and dummy plugs, the little fitting for the H-pop, the water filtration kit, and it's got a cap for the radiator reservoir. There's one more thing, guys. I swear I'll think of it. There's one more thing that I'm leaving out of it. But a new oil cooler. That was a big deal. So we got, and the Blue Spring kit. So kind of covers a lot of the basis for your initial bulletproofing. Now, the engine that I got, the cooler, the EGR cooler, because I can't block it off. I'm in California. We can't get around the emission standards. The EGR cooler that was on the engine that came already had the updated where it's not like a radiator. There's tubes inside. It's, it's like what Bulletproof Diesel does, but it didn't have a Bulletproof Diesel tag on it. But I decided to go with it because the numbers were getting high. I'll leave a link for the DK Bulletproof Kit in the description. If you guys go use that, it helps me out, and I've been pretty happy with it. The only thing I can't vouch for, and that's because there was a problem with the engine I got, is the head gaskets that they gave me, I didn't get to use. See, I put it together so that when I brought the engine in, pulled the engine out, I could just put it in, and found out that the H-pop was an earlier H-pop. So I had to take the tubes out of the old engine, clean them, put them on the new engine so I could put the later model H-pop. And it was a lot of work. I had to take the heads back off to get the tubes out. So I had to buy new head gaskets, and I ended up going to O'Reilly's and I got some OEM head gaskets. So the only thing I didn't use in this kit, because I screwed up and assembled it without catching the problem, was the head gaskets. So I can't really vouch for them. It seemed like they went together fine, but I didn't fire up the engine with those head gaskets. Push rods. Anytime you take the heads off the 6.0, replace the push rods, and you actually replace them with a push rod that's a few thousandths shorter. Ford knows about it if you call and talk to the parts guy. I got them directly from Ford. Has a lot to do with saving the cam, because when you change the difference, you know, I got all that information from Powerstrokehelp.com. That guy's pretty informative, and he said do not do any head studs replaced without doing the push rods. So I did the push rods. Injectors. I go through Injector Direct, and that cost me another $1,300. Oh, the push rods were $110. Now, O'Reilly's, that's where I went and got my oil, my filters, you know, all the knickknacks. I went there once for $271. I went there another time for $438, and I went there another time for $503. The reason is I changed a bunch of stuff that you really won't have to if you're doing a bulletproofing. These are just all the things. When I saw something wrong, I replaced it. The first trip was the glow plugs, thermostat, and the harness, which I recommend doing anyways whenever you're doing this kind of work. Just go ahead and do your glow plugs, your harnesses. Anytime you do glow plugs on a 6.0, just get a harness, because you're going to end up breaking the ends. Some people get them off, but they also fail so often. You just put a new set on. The oil antifreeze and water pump, I do that anytime I tear into an engine. And then the 503, when I went to pull the engine, put the gauges on the AC system, and it was empty, so I knew something was wrong. Pulled the orifice tube, it was full of metal, so I had to flush the system. I had to get a new compressor, receiver dryer, and orifice tube. And then I also changed the power steering pump because I saw leaks. So yeah. And then I updated the air filter, because I really hate the air filters on the 6.0s. I wanted something more serviceable, and those filters are really expensive anyways. And that cost me another $358. Numbers are getting big, you guys. This is not a cheap truck. Yeah, let's jump over to the totals. Okay, guys, so all in, I am into this truck $11,316.58. That's probably what the truck is worth. But now I know it's got a solid engine, and yeah, do with that what you will. Now this number down here, the $3,255.35. This number represents if you already own the truck. So let's say you already own the truck. Well, you didn't have to buy the truck. Let's say your engine's not bad and you're just wanting to bulletproof. You don't have to buy the engine. So I took those numbers out. And then on the O'Reilly numbers, the only number I left in was for the oil, filters, coolant, things like that. So you take all those numbers out, and to do it yourself, if you already own the truck and your engine's fine, you're just trying to do some preventative things, $3,255.35 to get the truck to basically where I put my truck. Now, what I have left on the bulletproofing, I did not upgrade the FICM, and that's a big part of the bulletproofing, but again, the number was getting high, so had to slow down a little bit, and that FICM is working at this point. But that will be my next upgrade, is replacing the FICM with a bulletproof FICM. And then the I didn't relocate the oil cooler. The DK kit comes with a coolant filter and a new oil cooler, an updated oil filter, but not a relocation kit. But with the coolant filter, you should be able to save your oil cooler, and you know that was just a direction I decided to go. You could go with relocating your oil filter. You could also block off your EGR if you're in a state that doesn't require the EPA compliance type stuff. I'm in California, we can't do that here. So I had to keep that. Now, the truck's running, it's got all the stuff I want on it. What's next? We got to replace the front bumper. We got to do something on the back end for the rear bumper. The truck is pretty straight, not really worried about that. Paint job down the road maybe. Headlights and grill, we got to do something with that, make it look right. And the tint that's on that thing is crazy. That brow, I mean, it looks like it's 3 foot long. Like you got a window this big. It's not my style. So the brow's got to come off. And then also the window tinting on the side windows, I got to take that off. Again, it's California laws. I've got to be compliant. I'm going to take them off. I don't like getting pulled over for stupid reasons. So that's where we're at on the truck. In the future videos, you'll see that truck coming together. But that's what I'm in it. And if you need to do it yourself, it'd be about that. So I would honestly plan on about $3,500 to do essentially the kit I did. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you stay tuned. We've got the same type of breakdown on the 06 Cummins that I built. I'm going to be putting that together tomorrow. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.